these two rematch. Now, I spoke.
Welcome. It is July the 13th, 2021, 8:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before we let Bob Arum finish his interview, this was after Vasiliy Lomachenko returned after a year layoff to defeat Masayoshi, nearly a year layoff. I forgot exactly how long it was, to defeat Masayoshi Nakatani. And Bob Arum did an interview with Bernardo Osuna, commentator analyst for ESPN, immediately after the fight. Teofimo Sr. is going to come in, and basically all signs were pointing to that Teofimo Lopez versus Vasiliy Lomachenko 2, no matter the outcome, likely Teofimo wins against George Kambosos, is done for December. So I'm going to read this article to you from Lance Pugmire on Teofimo Lopez, and it's a very complex situation, and the shit is hitting the fan. Teofimo Lopez, Triller clash over date, location for George Kambosos Jr. bout. Undisputed lightweight champion Teofimo Lopez finds his next fight in flux with the Friday development that broadcaster Triller wants to shift his twice postponed IBF mandatory defense against George Kambosos Jr. to Australia on October the 17th. Triller has notified the IBF of his intentions in a letter, according to an individual involved in the situation. Lopez's manager, David McWater, told The Athletic such an extended wait is too much risk and too much everything, and he wants Triller to place Lopez Kambosos at Madison Square Garden on August 14th. That's the date they originally gave us, and we will be ready, McWater said, dismissing the October date because it's 3 more months away, and if it gets canceled, we're screwed. So, yesterday, here was the latest development from Lance Pugmire. About 12 hours or so, it says. 8:05 last night, p.m., July the 12th. It's the 13th right now. Veteran boxing attorney Pat English Monday issued a 27-page letter to the IBF asking it to enforce that Triller present his client, undisputed lightweight champion Teofimo Lopez, with a formal contract by Wednesday, deadline the IBF rules mandate. That's tomorrow. So basically, to put it in layman's terms, and to pause for a little bit, Teofimo Lopez and his team, they want the fight to happen on August the 14th. If you go on fight.tv right now, where they're going to be broadcasting the fight, it's not on my cable provider yet, Fios. It's August the 14th at $49.99. Let's go into the purses before I bring my colleague in, Big J. Teofimo Lopez is set to make what, 3.9 million. Here, let's go to the article from the Ring magazine. Triller wins purse bid, $6 million plus to stage the Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos fight. This is from Michael Woods. I trust him as a writer. Triller, the entertainment platform, which is a rival to TikTok, bid $6 million, little under 6.1 million. Eddie Hearn Matchroom, 3.56 million. Bob Arum Top Rank, 2.31. This was back on February the 25th. So now the fight still has not happened, and since Teofimo Lopez won those belts off of Vasiliy Lomachenko, he has not had a fight, and Vasiliy Lomachenko just defeated Masayoshi Nakatani. So before I bring my colleague in, this is where we jump right back here into this interview on Top Rank on ESPN with Bob Arum and Bernardo Osuna. Let's jump back a little bit, take your time out. Please like the video, subscribe. I am back on Twitter at T Street Contra here. It's right here on that side right there. Please take your time out, like the video, and subscribe. Let's listen to Bob Arum and what he has to say. Well, you heard it right there. So tell me that doesn't tell a story. Now, if we don't know exactly what would happen as of yet if Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos don't fight, I don't know if Triller will be able to pursue any type of legal action. But let's say if that IBF title was to be vacated, then George Kambosos and PBC's Isaac Cruz, who I've covered multiple fights on this channel before, they'll be fighting for the vacant title. But as it stands right now, to keep it simple, Teofimo wants to fight, and Top Rank, you have to think they have a hand in this. They want the fight to take place on August the 14th because they want that Lopez versus Lomachenko 2 in Madison Square Garden in December to take place. Triller wants the fight to take place in Australia because there's so much money that they will lose out on if the fight takes place here in the States, especially if you don't remember, the fight was supposed to originally be a co-feature to Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield. So they want to put it in Australia to try to sell off of the Australian fans and to try to get it in the stadium somewhere off of George Kambosos. Meanwhile, before this, they didn't give a fuck about Australia. So Big J, there's a lot to digest, and my opening monologue was longer than I expected at 7 minutes, but I'm gonna let you take away from here. First, what do you think about the fight and where it stands right now? Do you feel that the fight's gonna happen?
Fuck no. This is a bigger clusterfuck than the Montreal Screwjob, and that was all wrestling. This is Horn v. Crawford, as you remember, was a clusterfuck. It had 3 date changes, venue changes. Crawford hurt his hand, all that horse shit. But this is absolutely getting beyond the joke. And I don't understand why Triller allowed the Mayweather-Paul fiasco to scare him off. They just sort of said, fuck off, we're here first. We're going to have our fight, bugger it. We don't care what you do. But Triller shot themselves in the foot. Now, what was the one thing I said to you when this thing happened in the first instance about Teofimo taking this deal with Triller? What were my exact words? Do you remember?
Quote unquote, short-term gain for long-term pain.
And isn't that exactly what's happened?
Yeah, because we don't know. Like, for one, if that belt gets if that undisputed. People already have issues calling him undisputed because the franchise tag. But if he was to lose another title, because of this bullshit, when they should have just got the shit out of the way. Like, for real. They kept trying to sell us that, Teofimo and Kambosos are bigger than what they were. I'm sorry, they're not. Teofimo Lopez is not yet a pay-per-view fighter. Or more importantly, Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos is not a pay-per-view fighter. Like, it just doesn't make... All of it just doesn't make any sense to me. And now the situation is made much, much worse because then Teofimo Lopez was guaranteed, $3.9 million?
Mm-hmm. And what they're doing now is the one thing that you never, ever do in any sort of sport is that you're pissing off the fans because everyone's getting sick of this shit.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, fuck it. It's not going to happen. I don't give a rat's ass now. People are losing interest in the fight because of all this dicking around when they should have just said, I welcome it coming to Australia. Who's ever done their research on this has done it right. October 17th, good date. The football seasons will be over by then. There's not much happening around those dates. Possibly Bathurst, which is a big car race, like V8, sort of like our version of the Indy 500 or whatever that thing is. Cars go around in a bloody circle. That should be a pretty clear date. The stadiums will be available on those dates. So Sydney's no good because if you're unaware, Sydney's locked down at the moment. They've got a COVID clusterfuck going on at the moment. So Sydney's out. But to have it, even in Townsville or Melbourne or somewhere, no worries at all. It would be good. And
first, would they have to quarantine?
Oh shit, yes, absolutely.
2 weeks in a hotel room.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which is
also, so I'm guessing they would have to rent a hotel. Triller.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They'd have to do something because 2 weeks. Yeah, they'd have to do a bubble. They'd have to sort it out with the best chance is going to the Queensland government because they'll pretty much just let them do it. I don't think Victoria would go for it. Queensland would.
So which means they're probably already working on this behind the scenes. Triller already maybe has a plan, in place. But, to interrupt a little bit, what Teofimo's team is doing, and it's logical, we know that the IBF will strip you. They don't give a rat's ass about rematch clauses. We've seen that with Carl Froch, George Groves. Tyson Fury, and Klitschko, they don't care about none of that. You defend your title when they order you to fight your mandatory, they only give you a certain amount of leeway. So, from Teofimo Lopez's side, they do have a valid argument there. Like, listen, this fight, according to the IBF, it has to happen per their rules, by September the 30th. Anything after that is like, it's on he could possibly file legal action, or the contract be voided. But what happens to the money? Like, I don't. It's all. It seems as though he still wants to fight, but he doesn't like the fact that the fight is, for one, going to happen in Australia, because they feel they're going to get robbed or whatever the case may be. And then also, how is he the A side going to the other person's country? It's, complex. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, with that, that's just something that he's just going to have to grin and bear. If he's forced into it, too bad. If he's going to fight,
and that's the purpose of the purse bid. Once a promotional company wins the purse bid, in this case Triller, they have all promotional rights to the fight. His manager, David McWater, and all respect to him, and Top Rank, they know this already, but Top Rank's smart. They've been in the business for a long time, so something is telling me that they're pulling a lot of these strings, because as I was talking to Big J earlier before we started the video, is, veteran boxing attorney Pat English. Come on, that's Top Rank written all over it. But my bad, Jay. Keep going. My bad.
Yeah, well, as I was saying, I mean, if they're going to go to Australia, they need to sort that out. I mean, if Teofimo wants to have it in August, fair enough, get it out of the way. I support it. So we've been waiting. How long have we been waiting for this bloody thing now? 6 friggin' months? So, if they want to have it in on August 14th, which is not going to be a big sell, because considering they have to go up against Pacquiao versus Spence, plus the Maloney twins, plus what else is going on that date? Is there something else happening that date as well?
Pacquiao Spence is the week later. Lopez versus Kambosos. Here, let me pull up fight.tv. Lopez versus Kambosos is supposed to happen on August the 14th.
Yeah, and the Maloney twins are fighting that date in Oklahoma. Yeah, so that's going to split the Australian audience. So, yeah, you've got 3 Aussies fighting on the same date, which is not going to go down well. So,
and then,
excuse me.
And then let me say this, right? Fury versus Wilder could also be that month. They just keep running into, Fury versus Wilder can be that month.
Yeah, well, I think everyone's just trying to bury Triller, but they're also burying themselves by what they're doing. They should have just, did what they needed to do and got on with it. But I don't see it happening like we said when we first mentioned this. They could bring it to Australia, but it would be a logistical nightmare. They would have to outsource everything to Main Event to get them to do all the legwork for them, which, could happen, but it would be it would be a logistical nightmare, even just bringing, 100 people into the country to do whatever they need to do. Publicists, team members, this, that, Triller representatives, whomever needs to come into the country for the fight. They've all got to get locked up in 2 weeks quarantine. I know buts and maybes about that. And they've got to do the quarantine requirements depending on what state they go to. So listen to this.
I'm on the Triller. I'm on the Fight.tv, the official online broadcaster for the pay-per-views of Triller. And now it has Lopez versus Kambosos listed on September the 11th. And isn't it the same day as the Oscar De La Hoya? They just need to put this shit on the Oscar De La Hoya card and get it over with.
Well, there have been rumblings. There's been more than one. I spoke to Ben Damon about that the other day, that was a possibility. So that's been floating around for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So where's that fight? September 11th, where's that?
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say. So they got no venue, but that's a date. Well, that's before the 30th of September cutoff. So
there you go.
Nothing wrong with that.
Solved.
Exactly. Stop piss farting around and just get into it.
Yeah. Right. Well, did we miss anything? Closing thoughts?
I want to say Teofimo put up a little tweet that his wife's pregnant. Congratulations, mate, all that sort of stuff. We wish you the best for you, family, all that sort of good stuff. But please stop mucking around and just do this fight. Like I said to him on bloody Twitter the other day, the fans are starting to get pissed off. And as I said, in the long run, Teofimo doesn't have that many fans to start off with. He's going to lose even more with all this bullshit.
Yeah, people are getting frustrated because he's fucking up his own momentum, and this is not George's fault at all. Because he didn't want to
George
catch
is getting
COVID.
Screwed. Yeah, George is getting screwed.
Yeah.
So, everyone said, what about poor old George? I mean, he's, done in Miami. I don't know if he's gone home yet. Is there any reports he's got? I don't
Rumors
know.
are he
If he
did
could
go
come
home,
home,
but we don't know.
yeah, well,
we can't confirm.
I don't know, because Sydney is a red zone at the moment, so going back to Sydney is not a very good idea. So place is in lockdown. So yeah, it's just one big cluster, and everyone that the fans obviously get screwed because no one gets to see the fight. Triller's screwing themselves, and all this ESPN garbage is just getting completely out of hand because people will start turning on Top Rank. Sorry, not ESPN, bloody Top Rank. People start turning on them eventually because they're like, well, we're sick of this shit. So
yeah, but you know how fans are. They're going to have a short memory, and it's clear as day that they want to get this fight over with, and now we can see the urgency on Teofimo Lopez. I mean, within Teofimo Lopez and his camp, because now they got that new money from Top Rank and that Lomachenko fight, that big money pay-per-view fight on the big platform. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be pay-per-view, but likely pay-per-view. They gave us the first one for free. I'm not quite certain they would give us the second one, but who knows? So it's clear as day, that they want to just get the Kambosos fight over with. But now they should have got it over with. And Triller, they're not in a rush because they're trying to make some money off of it.
Well, you can't blame Triller for wanting to get back their $6 million. You can't blame them for that. But yeah, absolutely not. But they far overpaid, for this, and it's been a comedy of errors, to use an old Uncle Chop Chop saying. It's a comedy of errors. It's just one fuck up after another. It's getting out of control.
Yeah.
So we only hope that this gets done on September 11th, and George kicks the shit out of Lopez, brings the belts home, and puts a huge monkey wrench into their plans. That's what I hope happens.
That would be the worst of possible cases scenarios. There's been too many distractions
for those guys.
But I'm still going with Teofimo. I'm sorry, George. We're trying to get you on the channel. You got to prove us wrong, or at least prove me wrong. But
well,
all right.
I want George to kick the shit out of him because that'd be great.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be the ultimate? Wouldn't that be the ultimate justice? Or
that would.
Ultimate
I wouldn't say justice, but that would fuck up a lot of shit in just boxing in general. George Kambosos, undisputed champion. So we've seen upsets. Crazy upsets happen before.
Horn versus Pacquiao, never forget. Jeff got over Pacquiao.
We're still people still got sand in their vaginas over that one.
Oh, fucking get over it! Jesus Christ, it was 4 fucking years ago.
We gotta go. So
I shouldn't blaspheme. Sorry for blaspheming. I shouldn't blaspheme.
So all right, this is T Street Controversy and Big J with FightView360.com. Follow me on Twitter at T Street Contra, is right there on the screen. And where can they follow you at, Big J, on Twitter?
Old mate Big J.
Simple as that. Please take your time out, like the video, subscribe.